Effective interview skills. So today we're going to be looking at resume building. I'm Kavita Rao. Welcome again. So we're going live on different social media platforms. Please ask me questions, but anytime you have questions, you can send it in a chat or you can stop and ask me, right? So let's take a look at what's in store today. Give me a minute, trying to change my slides. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, here are my slides. I'm going to move on to some technical issue, guys. Just give me a minute. For some reason, I'm not able to hope everybody can see my slides. Okay, so great. Now I finally got hang of my slides. So let's look at what's in store for you, right? Now, before we do that, preparations for, now I'm sure you guys all are getting ready to prepare for your interviews. So preparing for these interviews can be really hard, right? Now, you may not know what exactly it's needed to get that dream job. What's the dream job? Yeah, what do you need to do? You may know the dream job. What do you need to do in order to get there? But right preparations, and remember the key is preparations, is a step in the right direction. So let's go through resume building in a step-by-step process. Okay? Now, along with an aptitude and a culture fit, the right attitude and proper preparations can help you get hired. So have the right attitude and prepare. You will get hired. Okay, so what do you need to do first? First thing is research the company. So take a look at this resume, right? You've got a resume here in front of you. It's a one-page resume, which is brilliant. You've got phone numbers, you've got the website, right? You've got the address of the person, you've got person's skills listed down, languages, reference about them, their work experience, etc. But in order to, when you're getting your resume ready, why would you want to research the company, right? What is the requirement? Now, unless you know which company you're applying for and what's the job description, how will you be able to change your resume accordingly, right? You wouldn't be able to if you don't understand the job description. You need to showcase clarity to them about why you want to work for the company. So this is about me, but now I need to change my resume so that the company realizes that you're the best person for the job. How do we do that? By using something called a SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis, you would have done it in your projects. You would have done it in your studies. But how do you use SWOT analysis on yourself? We look at that. You need to identify your unique selling points and position yourself well. In sales, we talk about a unique selling proposition. But what are unique selling points, right? What are your unique selling points? And how do you put yourself forward? How do you put your best foot forward? While you do that, you've got to remember, use live examples. People will want to see how you have exhibited those skills. Now, if you're a student and you haven't had the chance to exhibit those skills, think about some projects that you worked on. Think about games that you have organized, right? You have exhibited some skills in all of those. Think about that and then make your resume. List down all your qualifications, your experiences, and your skills. And then start preparing your resume. So all of this 1 to 6 is all before you start creating your resume like this page here. Okay. Right, now let's look at SWOT analysis. Everybody's seen the SWOT analysis. We all know what it is. So what does it stand for? S stands for strength. So when you use it on yourself, you've got to find out what your strengths are, right? Find out, and of course, W is weakness. Find out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Now, the reason why we do that, strengths, yes, everybody wants to know your strengths. But people, especially hiring companies, also want to know what your weakness is. Because the first step is identifying your weakness. When you identify your weakness, only then will you know how to convert those into your strengths. Therefore, identify your weakness. Companies will also want to know, have you identified your weakness? Then O is opportunities. So what are the opportunities you see? How does the market look? What are the jobs out there, right? And then also look at the threats. What threats do you see? There is recession going on. Are companies closing down? What are the threats you see? Sometimes when you are when you're the last person in the company, and if the company is shutting down, you could be the first person out. So see those threats beforehand, before you even apply for that company. Find out all about the company you are applying to. So your strengths, your weakness, what are the opportunities out there, and what are the possible threats? Please do your homework, guys. Okay, and then steps to preparing your resume. Now start writing your resume. What do you need to do? Now, see, these are words which I'm showing you now, which all of us have used in our resume, right? I've used it myself. I led a team. I've handled 3 projects. I've managed 5 teams. I am responsible for the content writing team, right? Now, most resume bullet points start with the same words, right? You will put the name of the company, the year of your experience, and then you will write these slides. I led, I handled, I managed, I was responsible for. But the same tired old words that hiring managers have heard over and over again. Everybody uses these words. So what can you do? Now, so much so that they have been abused, these words. I led, I handled, I managed, I'm responsible for. To the point that they have lost their meaning. So what can you do? Because they don't do much to showcase a candidate's accomplishments. You need proper words, right, in your resume. Let's look at them. So, for example, if you want to say, I led a project, which means you were in charge of a project or an initiative from start to finish, right? So instead of led, what can you use? I'm giving you so many words. I chaired project, I coordinated, I headed, I organized, much better words. I planned, I programmed the hiring from start to finish, right? Make a note of these words. Take a picture of these words. Now, if you have envisioned and brought to life a project, like there was a project has never been run in your college before, or this project has never been run in your company before, you started it, right? For example, you brought a bot into the company. Yes, you envisioned and brought to life a project. So you actually developed, created, or introduced the project into your company. So you can try these words. I administered, I designed, I engineered the project. Beautiful word. I spearheaded, I established, I developed the project from start to finish. I pioneered the development of a bot for hiring, right? Make a note of these words. Believe me, guys, if you start using these words, your resume is really going to improve. Okay, some more words. Now, you save the company time or money. Okay. Now, hiring managers love candidates who help the team operate more efficiently, okay, or cost effectively. So to show just how much you saved, say, I conserved. I decreased the spending from 22 lakhs down to 5 lakhs, for example. I diagnosed the problem. I reconciled. I consolidated. I reduced. I lessened, right? You increased efficiency, sales or a revenue or customer satisfaction. Identify which words will suit you guys more and make a note of it. So along similar lines, if you can show that your work boosted the company's numbers some way, you're bound to impress. You can even say it for your college, right? If you're a fresher, if you have improved the process, you've introduced some new ideas into your college. Use these words. I accelerated, I generated, I delivered, I enhanced the processes of my college. I improved, I maximized, right? Okay, I hope you got what I was saying, right? Okay, if you've changed or improved something, like for example, you brought your department's invoicing system out of the Stone Age, for example, talk about all these changes. So you centralized the payroll system, you merged the different departments together. You redesigned, okay? You strengthened, you standardized, you simplified. Just pick one word from this and use it, okay? If you've managed a team, it could be, I managed a basketball team, right? I was the team leader. I was the captain of a cricket team, right? Instead of saying I led a team or I managed, you can say I facilitated my cricket team. I guided the team. I inspired them to win the match. I recruited. I shaped. I trained. I supervised. I mentored a group of fresh recruits. Okay? Be innovative. Now, you brought in partners of funding. For example, you were responsible for a great partner. For example, your college was looking, or your company was looking for, for extending their services. They needed help from a third party. So you had some friends, you had some resources, you brought in people to work. You can use forged. You supported customers. Now, sales, for example, sales team, manning the phones or answering questions, basically means you're advising customers and meeting their needs. Okay? Manning their phones or answering questions. So, what we will say? I advised, I advocated, I advised customers. You could just be a salesperson, but use the word advised. I coached the customers to buy our products. I educated them. I informed them of our proceedings. Cool? Okay. Any questions elsewhere? Okay. I can't see any messages. So if anything, any messages, please let me know. Okay, now a lot of students do a lot of research, right? So if your job or your internship includes research or fact finding, then you mix it up. You say, I analyzed, I calculated, I investigated, I quantified, I forecasted. Forecasted is a very nice word. I forecasted proceedings for next year, if you're involved in planning. I mapped, I qualified, I surveyed the processes. So mix them up, mix two words. I analyzed the system. I then explored different methodologies that we could adopt. I mapped it on to the system. I then looked at tracking the system on a day-to-day basis. I can use so many words in my resume, right? Now, if you wrote or communicated, if you are good in writing, speaking, Then you can talk about words like I authored, I lobbied, I promoted, I documented, I critiqued somebody's writing or somebody's book, I publicized, right? Brilliant words. Okay, if you oversaw or regulated, you managed your department's requests. So describe what you really did better with these words. I delegated, I inspected, I monitored the new office, right? I screened the participants. Okay. Now, if you've hit your goals, now, for example, if you're in college and you've achieved 80%, 90%, you hit all your goals, you've completed the project, or you won an award in the department, right? What can you include? I attained, I completed, I exceeded. Remember, when you've completed your projects, right? I've completed the project, I've outperformed, I've exceeded my targets, and I've got 90%. I've succeeded. Okay? So let's move on now to building your resume. Now, what can you do to build your resume? You can use a resume builder app, right, to get something as professional as this, or you can build one yourself. Now, there are not very many free resume builder apps. That's why we've got this session. Now, as you can see, and I did mention this, all your facts need to be on one page. Now, in this, you can see the name of the person, right? The name of this person, slightly different from the first one, is here. This person is a DevOps engineer, their phone number, their email address. And a summary is put down here on the left. Brilliant. Key skills. Remember, these skills and technical skills will change depending upon the job that you're applying for, the company that you're applying, right? And certifications, all down here. So at one glance, the recruiting manager can see everything in one glance. Then here on the right-hand side, you can give a further explanation. This is the company I worked for. This was my job role. And this was the dates. Now, guys, I've seen a lot of resumes. I have seen what you need to put on the top, you know, and I've seen a difference. What people do is, I really have to look and see, search at the resume what your current job role is. So right at the top, please put your current job role. Currently, where are you working? Are you doing an internship? Put it right on the top. Are you working for a company? Put it right on the top. And clearly write down what's the name of the company, what are you working as, what date you started working. And if you're saying, if you're currently still working, say present. Otherwise, put an end date. And in 2 or 3 lines, write down what you do, not more. If you don't have too much to write, then of course you can write 4 lines. Then write the next one, okay, which college you went to. Write down what you did in college. Then if you did an internship, so write it in chronological order. From today backwards, that's how you have to write it. Okay? Cool? Okay. We'll see 2 more resumes. Okay? So follow these examples, right? So this resume is a great one. It's the example one. Let's move to example 2. Now this example, slightly different. Photograph is here. Right on top, they put their name and what their current role. Email file, which we will look at when we look at elevator pitch. So a small explanation of you and what is it that you're looking for. Here they put their social media handle and they put down here at the bottom some references. So some references, most recruiters will want references, right? Put them down. And then in the main page, they put in their experience, 3 experiences, their education, just 2 or 3 lines. And at the bottom, they put their expertise, the 2 different or 3 different expertise, which is required for the job. For example, if I am, say, Now I am head of HR and learning. If I am trying to apply for a HR job, right? My expertise would talk about recruitment, talk about the number of people, what are my skills, communication, etc. If I was applying for training, my expertise would be communication, the ability to run virtual classes, that's an expertise, right? So my expertise, my skills will change depending upon the job that I'm applying to. Cool? Okay. You can take pictures of these resumes so that you can follow them, right? This is example 2, right? Okay. And example 3. Again, here, picture on the top, name of the person. Right down on the left is how you can contact them, their education, right? Everything down. And here they put their expertise. So expertise is a little different from skills. Skills is what you've learned. Expertise is what you are able to work in, right? So for example, my skills can be like, for example, Adobe Photoshop, yeah, Adobe. My expertise is my computer language, my graphic design, etc. Right? You should know the difference. And then references are down here. Neat, simple. Please, guys, don't let your resume go more than a page. 1 page, neat. People will only see that. And remember, first round of filtering resumes will be an AI. So they will look for keywords. So job description talks about something, they will look for those keywords in your resume. And if they are not there, they just reject the resume, right? That's why sometimes you don't even get called. So make sure you've gone through the job description and added those words into your resume. So key skills should also pertain to the job that you're applying to. Cool? So most importantly, when you write your resume, please check your grammar, your spelling, your punctuation. Okay. Hobbies, Ashish, good question. You do not really need to add hobbies. Hobbies is something some people ask, most people don't ask. If they're interested, they will ask you. You can just talk about it, right? You don't need to put down your hobbies. I remember in my first resume, I had my hobbies. After that, somebody advised me, please remove it. Not many people may be interested. Okay. Therefore, that's why you don't need to put everything down in your resume, right? Only what is important, just the key bits. So you've got experience in, say, data science, put that down right in the top, right? Remember, also your resume should be chronological order. That's why on the left, you can put all the skills down. These are the skills pertaining to the job. So people don't need to go through your experience to see, okay, where have you got that skill? It's listed down as your skills and your expertise. Okay. So once you checked you've written your resume, check your grammar. Please do not make grammatical mistakes. You can do a spell check. Grammar will also be corrected on Word. Write it in Word, then convert it into a PDF. A PDF is always more professional. Now, I heard someone telling me that their resume is a PDF and they cannot change it because they had not updated it to their current skill, which is so wrong. You should have a Word document that you will keep changing as you progress and then keep converting the final version into a PDF. Okay? So before you convert, check your spelling, check your punctuation. Punctuation is your dots, your full stops, etc. Okay. So do a spell check of your resume for spelling mistakes, grammatical checks, and start every sentence with a capital letter. Do not use caps in the mid-sentence. I've seen resumes like that. You start with a capital and suddenly you will have a capital letter in between. Don't use it, right? It doesn't look professional. The only things which should have a capital letter should be names, right? Names of countries, names of people. Then please check your font size and color. make it look professional, and there should not be inconsistency. Certainly one letter bigger font than the others. Double check before you convert, and all you can do all the checks on Word, then convert it into PDF. So in the body, please either use Times Roman font or Calibri body, and the headings should be a different size. So Calibri light for headings, Calibri body for the body, or Times Roman, right? Font. For the heading can be separate, bigger font, body can be smaller font. All the body should be the same size. Headings, one size. And subheading should be a size smaller than the main heading, but bigger than the body. So size 10 or 11 for the body, size 12 or 14 for the heading. Correct? Please, and double check it before converting. Remember, your resume reflects you. Right? Okay. Any questions, guys? How should the resume look? Should it be simple or creative? It can be eye-catching, it can be creative, but remember, if it's only creative and doesn't have substance, then they will reject it. So you need to have all the necessary information, like, for example, you need to have information like, as I just showed you, right? So, for example, you've got information like your experience in the middle, right? So look at this experience. So if this is not there and you've just made it extremely creative, nobody's going to look at it, right? So your experience needs to be there. Your education needs to be there. Your expertise, your skills need to be there. I think this resume is the best, right? Because here you have your entire experience. Hold on. Yeah. So you have your skills, you have your references, you have your expertise, you have your education here, and you have your the main work experience listed in the main page. So it can still be eye-catching, right? Isn't this eye-catching? Now, I saw a very good resume of somebody I interviewed today. They had put a kind of like a map of where they started in their career and where they have moved on. So it is a map which says it's like a flow chart, and they put it in their resume. So that is brilliant. That is also something that you can adopt, but do not make it too crowded, right? That one page. Okay. Cool. And that's it for me. Any further questions, guys? A break in career due to, yeah, okay, maternity, health issues. So it's everybody understands that, right? You've had a break in your career. Please do not lie, firstly, in your resume. So if you're working, say, from 2018 to 2020, then you took a 1-year break from 20 to 21. It's okay. Let there be a break. Continue your resume from 21 onwards. Leave it for the interviewer to ask you, okay, so what happened between 20 to 21? You can then tell them, okay, I had to take a break due to health issues, maternity, etc. Right? Don't show a continuation like you didn't take a break at all. Yeah, that's the main thing. Don't lie. Okay. Okay, if there are freshers, yeah, so freshers, exactly, that's what I was saying. So if you are freshers, then you have to talk about your experience in college, right? Talk about your projects in college, and that is what should stand out. If there's a career gap for 2 years, So the same thing, right? Career gap. So for example, up to 20, you've got your career. You've taken a break. From 2022, you're starting. But be prepared to talk the truth. Tell them why you took a career break, whether you were studying or you had illness or you took a break. Okay? You are from a okay, so you're from a civil engineering background, working in the same domain, looking forward to switch your career to data analytics. Yeah, absolutely. And why not? Do you know whatever you study doesn't go waste? You know, it's amazing that you've done your civil engineering. So say that, right? These are what I've learned in my civil engineering. Now, if you're changing your career into data science, what is required? Which skill have you got in civil engineering, which will help you in your data science? Right? Now, remember, when you do your projects in data science, you can do it on your engineering topics. So think about that. And your resume should then reflect, these are my skills, and I will be doing data science on these topics. Yeah, so like I said, Vijay Lakshmi, freshers also, please write down all that you have gained in your college. Any projects, you need to make note of that. Any sports you've taken part, any debates, all make a note of it in your resume. Right, Vijay Lakshmi? Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, guys. We will meet again tomorrow where we will discuss about what do we say and how do we face that interview. Okay? Thank you, guys.